Hi friends, and welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. Today I have a spring video for you. I don't know about you guys, but I'm done with the cold. I'm ready for spring. But first of all, before we get to the video, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Brenda and this is my Oliver. And if you're returning, we love you so much. So with all that being said, let's get to crafting.
Okay, here's DIY number one. So I'm going to use this wood piece I just recently got from Hobby Lobby. It was $2.99 but was 40% off, so it brought it down to $1.80. And I'm going to paint the boots yellow with my Waverly chalk paint in the color maize, the bottom part of the boots white, and then the flowers and the leaves with that fern color. Then I took a paint bottle and I turned it upside down because the lid part was a little bit smaller, but it wasn't completely round. So I'm tracing the round part with a pencil, and then I kind of twist my bottle so that I can get the other part traced out. And once I got them all traced out, I took my white chalk paint and a small brush, and I just outlined each one of those polka dots with my white paint, and then I actually used a little bit bigger of a brush to paint the inside of it. And once I had all of my white polka dots painted in, sorry, this is taking a bit, excuse me. And as you can see, I painted the bottom of the boot white there too. I took a black marker here, a paint marker, and I'm just going to outline it. And I could see like the line of the boot because it has a little bit of the indentation on this wood piece. And that's what I'm just kind of following with my marker. And I'm just going to go along on the bottom part here, and then I'm going to go down the middle of the boots just so that you have that distinction of the difference between the two boots. And I think that's all. Nope, I go down the side of the back part of the boot. And then after that, I went around each of my polka dots with the black just to kind of highlight it. Then I had this huge Gerber daisy I got last year from Dollar Tree, and I put it right in the middle. And then I just grabbed some flowers from my stash, and I just started hot gluing them. I cut the little piece off that sticks out. You don't want to cut too much or the flower falls apart, which if that happens, you just glue it all together. But ask me how I know. But I just kept going around and filling it with flowers so that you couldn't see the outline of where the flowers were on the wood. And then once I had the flowers in, I just started taking some of the leaves from the flowers and just kind of hot gluing them over the green. Now I just painted the green because I was planning on covering it up, but I just thought it would just kind of help add to the leaves when I added them. So then I decided you could use that as a hanger, a door hanger, but I decided to do something more. So I painted a 14-inch wood round from Hobby Lobby with my white color. And then I am taking my square ruler and I'm just making some shiplap lines. And I'm just placing my ruler along the lines and then just tracing from the bottom, just like you see. And then after that, I took my finger and I'm just smearing those lines to give it more of that faded look. Then I took these letters. These are wood letters I got from Hobby Lobby, or not Hobby Lobby, Amazon. They're like in cursive, which I thought was really cool. I used my Waverly chalk paints in the color peacock, maize, fern, and then apple barrel in the color pink. I think that was pink blush, Concord grape, and I think magenta. I can't read what that was. And I painted all those letters. And then with the word hello, I just took my white paint and my embossing tool excuse me guys, and I'm just making little dots, and then I am going to measure where to make a hanger because these wood rounds don't have hangers. So I'm using my big mouth crocodile and making some hangers before I place everything down. And then I laid my boot down where I wanted it, and I'm tracing it out. Now I did something I normally don't do. Normally I will put glue on the round, not on the piece that's being laid, and I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm using wood glue and hot glue, and not the whole boot is not going to be on that wood round. So yeah, I had a mess on my hand. So if you're going to recreate this, I would say put it on the wood round, not on the boot, because you'll see here in a minute, there's wood glue all over my table and it's all over the back of the boot. So I had to do a little bit of cleaning with a baby wipe here. And I did take my heat tool and just kind of melt some of that hot glue on the back of it and get it off. And then I took some Type-On glue. Sorry, guys. It's early in the morning and I just got up. um, Type-On glue and hot glue, and I'm going to glue all my letters down in place. And again, the Type-On glue is for the permanent hold. The hot glue is for the immediate hold so that I can get on with my video. And then I had these little flowers from a Dollar Tree in my stash, and I'm just going to use hot glue on each one of those and just dab them on. I took some yellow ribbon here and I'm going through the holes, and then when I went to go hang it, it hung too heavy on the side of the boot, so I ended up having to get a longer piece of ribbon, and I went through the hole of the boot instead. I might look kind of funny, but yeah, it wouldn't hang straight unless I did that. But there it is. I love how this came out. I think it is adorable. You have to let me know what you think about this as well. I always like to take this moment to thank my subscribers. I appreciate you guys all so very much. And if you're new here, if you like home decor on a budget, I would invite you to hit that red subscribe button, become part of our YouTube family. And then if you guys could support me by giving me that thumbs up and comment, watching those ads, I truly appreciate it. And then if you'd like to follow me on social media, you can find those links in the description box below. Okay, here's DIY number 2. Okay, I'm taking 3 of these wood flower shapes from Dollar Tree. I think these are thicker than usual. I was kind of impressed. And then I'm taking 2 12-inch wood slats and 3 3-inch rounds. And I'm going to paint all of them white. Well, and they're not going to stay white, but that's what I started with. Once they were all done, I took Mod Podge and I put them over the 3-inch wood rounds. These wood rounds, I believe I got from Amazon. I got them like a couple of years ago, you guys, and I got a lot. They came in a lot, and I still have some. Anyways, once I had the Mod Podge on them, I set them aside to dry. And as they were drying, once they were dry, I took these napkins. The orange one and this butterfly one I just got at Dollar Tree. I thought they were so pretty. And like, I need more napkins. I have a ton. Anyways, the pink one was in my stash. So I'm just putting parchment paper over them and using my heat press to reactivate that Mod Podge so that those napkins stick. This is a really good way to do it because then you don't get bubbles or wrinkles. If you don't have a heat press, you can use an iron as long as it doesn't have steam on it. And then I'm just going to trim out some of that excess there. And then I'm just going to go over it again with Mod Podge so that it just gives it that protective coat over the napkin so it doesn't rip easily. And then I set those aside to dry as well. After they were dry, I took my little finger sander and I'm just going to go around and give it a quick little sanding so that we don't have all that extra napkin around the edge. And once I was done, I took my wood glue and hot glue, and I'm going to glue each one of those to the front of the flower. Now, this is where I felt like, oh, there's just way too much white. So off camera, I did paint them. I painted this with Waverly chalk paint in the color Maize. I cut down a tomato stake from Dollar General and painted them with fern. I painted these. These came from Hobby Lobby in a package with all kinds of shapes, and I painted them with the fern. I painted this with, Pink Cloud from Waverly chalk paint. And then this one, I took 3 different apple barrel pink colors and painted them to get a pink that was close enough to that napkin. I'm going to mark where I want to lay my tomato stakes. I think that's what they call them. Anyways, and I'm adding my wood glue and hot glue to the back of my flower, and then I'm going to place that stake back down. Now, you could use dowels if you wanted. I was afraid of dowel might not be strong enough, so I went with one of these, but you could use whatever you have on hand that would work. Then I'm going to use hot glue to glue my little leaves on, and then I'm marking where I want to place my flower stem. I guess I could call it a flower stem now, huh? I'm using wood glue and hot glue inside that marking, and then I'm just going to add 2 flowers. Now, 2 of those tomato stakes are shorter than the other one. And I had made 2 of those wood chunks because I was going to put one on the front and one on the back of those flowers. But it was still, the bigger flower was not tall enough, and it was getting too covered up by the 2 front. So I decided to add that chunky slat on top of the other one, and then glued the taller one just to the top of that with the wood glue and hot glue. And then while I was making this, I kept getting the phrase "stop and smell the flowers" in my head. And I know it's "stop and smell the roses," but I kept thinking "stop and smell the flowers." So I decided, okay, I'm going to make a decal with my Cricut that says "stop and smell the flowers." So I made that, and I'm just going to lay it on the front of my 2 pieces there, and there it is. I think it is adorable, and what a fun way. And if you spray it with some protective spray, you could probably even have it as on your front porch or something. But I just think it's adorable. You have to let me know what you think about this in the comment box below. Okay, it is a time for a celebration of your recreation. And Lynette recreated a few of my DIYs. You did an amazing job. I love them all. And then Alicia, she wanted me to show the item that she recreated so that you could see the 2 different ways of making it. And I loved what she made. It was beautiful. And then Mary, these are adorable. I love your birdhouses. They are awesome. Okay, if you have a recreation or a creation that you would like me to showcase for you, you can send pictures to my email address that's listed there, or you can send them to me through Instagram or Facebook Messenger. Okay, here's DIY number 3. So for this DIY, I took 3 of those wood decor pieces. I always call them wood planks from Dollar Tree. I laid them down side by side or on top of each other, and then I took my giant craft sticks from Walmart, and I'm using my wood glue and hot glue to attach them to the back of my sign. Now, as you can see, I put the wood glue in the middle and hot glue on both sides. That's because I have found in the past when I just put wood glue on one side and hot glue on the other, that when I go to paint it, the side with the wood glue curls up. So this keeps it from curling up. As you can see, I filled the holes with my spackling, and then I painted the whole thing white. And then I took this new Chalk Couture transfer that's called Flower Market. I loved it, and I am fuzzing it. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Chalk Couture, these are they're adhesive stencils. They're silkscreen stencils, and the first time we use them, we want to fuzz them, because if we don't, then they will pull up the paint on the item that we just painted, and they'll pull up some of the paste as well. So I am fuzzing half of it right here, and I fuzzed the other half before that. Then I laid it in place, and I'm just going around with my hand making sure there's no air bubbles and that it's all adhered to my board. Then I've taken the color Storm. I'm going to use Storm to go over all the wood looking piece on this transfer, but I am going to do the, I don't know, what do they call it? Peel and release or something, where you put some paste down and you pull up it just so that that paste does not stick to your transfer. And then this is eggshell blue I'm going to use for the Flower Market. The reason why I do the pull up is because this is going to have a lot of detail on it, and so it's going to it took me quite a while, and I did not want that paste to dry up on my transfer on the silk screen, because when it dries, if you pull up, it will pull it up with it, and then you will have a very splotchy looking transfer. So every time I pull up, I just run my fingers through. Here I'm going to use saffron, and I'm going to make sure that there's no more air bubbles. But I pretty much go over the flowers with different colors. I'll do the basket with that eggshell blue. I'll do the bike black, and I'll do eggshell blue on the seed bulk potted plants, and then the storm on all the rest. If you have never tried chalk couture, and if you have thought it looks cool like I did when I became a designer, before I ever tried it, because I just loved how it looked and thought it would be so much fun, and I've enjoyed it very much. But if you would like to try it out, I do have a link in my description box to my chalk couture page where you can go and check everything out. I usually recommend the Chalk Couture Club. That is $21.99 a month. You get an exclusive 8x11 transfer every month, and some small single chalk paste that coordinates with that. I think it's a great way to give it a try before you start buying stuff, unless you want to go ahead and buy stuff, that you can do that too. But anyways, you can find all that information on my page. Or you can send me an email with any questions. I'd be happy to answer. So I took one of these seed pots, and I took my Waverly chalk paint and the color celery, and I'm just kind of doing a dry brushing all the way around it. Then I'm just going to cut it in half. So what I love about these seed pots, you can cut them in half. And then I am gluing them with my hot glue to the front of my board, and I just filled them with some of the flowers from Dollar Tree. I love these flowers, but they're hard to find. And then after I had those full, I thought, okay, I don't like that the bottom part is still kind of bare and plain. So I decided to take those little pink flowers I'm putting in there. They're called rosemary. I thought it was kind of cool. I took some floral foam here, and I'm just gluing them to the bottom of my sign. And then after that, I'm going to add some glue and some moss. Oh my goodness, did I have a mess? But I took some of these little roses from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to stick them into my floral moss. I did end up kind of having to put some hot glue on the tips when I stuck them in, just to kind of help give them more security. Then I just put the hanger through the holes. I made some holes with my crocodile, and I am just put some twine through there, and I'm adding some beads. These beads I got last year from Amazon. I do believe they're in my Amazon store. If you'd like to check them out, the link is in my description box as well. And I do just get a little kickback from Amazon anytime you order through there, so that's always very nice. But I'm just alternating colors, and then I'm just going to poke it through and tie a knot, and there it is. I love how this came out. I think that transfer is so stinking pretty. But you'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well. Okay, here's the last and final DIY, number 4. And I am going to start out with this sign from Dollar Tree. I got this, I don't know how long, it's been in my stash. And I am just going to take this wood square piece, kind of square, it's kind of rectangle too. And I'm going to paint up both of them with my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. Once it was done, I took some of that white paint and spritzed it with some water, because I wanted to water it way down so it was a little more like a whitewash. And then I just took like a stencil brush, and I'm just kind of doing a heavy distressing, I guess you could say, with a light white watered down paint. Anyways, I went over the sign with Mod Podge, and I just gave it a good coating. I am going to cover up that cute little rolling pin cutout. I set it aside to dry, and once it was dry, I took this beautiful napkin that I received from Kathy Jo, and I separated the plies, and then I took my decal here that I created. No, I found this off of Cricut, and Cricut Design Space, and I'm adding it. Now, after I was taking my pictures, I'm like, why did I do 2 Hello Springs? Normally, I try not to have the same saying on 2 designs in one video, but I wasn't thinking. So anyways, I took my napkin and laid it on my bigger sign here, and I'm using, again, my parchment paper and heat press to reactivate that Mod Podge, and then I trimmed it all off. No, I didn't. I added more Mod Podge, let it dry. Then I used my sander to sand off the excess. Now here I'm using wood glue and hot glue, and I realized, oh shoot, I put it the wrong way, because You can kind of see the cutout part there for that rolling pin. Well, I had it backwards or sideways, and so the stand on the back would have been wrong. So I had to peel it off, and yeah, it was that little mess. But anyways, I took these tacks from Dollar Tree, and I am just I hammered them in with my little hammer thing there. And then I am just going to add some of my jute rope that I get from Amazon around it. And this butterfly I got from Hobby Lobby last year. And that's all there was for this one. Super simple, but I just think it's adorable. And I just think it's a nice little shelf sitter to have for spring. You have to let me know what you think about this one as well. And the final reveal is coming right up. I hope you enjoyed today's videos because I completely enjoyed all of these. I had so much fun making them. And I hope you enjoyed watching it. So again, if you're new here, make sure you hit that red subscribe button before you go. And make sure you guys give me that thumbs up and comment because you all know that helps me out. I will be back again on Sunday with another video. So until then, I hope you guys have a really blessed rest of your week, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.